Hello, hello, LinkedIn. I am back. I'm so excited to be back because I can't live without you guys. It's been just a couple of days since I completed 21-day LinkedIn Live challenge, and here I am live again. Today is 4th of January, the fourth day of 365-day growth journey. And I wanted to show my face and say hi to all of you, to wish you the most incredible 2025, to wish you the most incredible year for yourself and for your family and friends, as well as colleagues and clients and everyone who you love and care about. And also, I wanted to speak to the post that I shared on day 1. The one where I broke down in tears, in complete bliss, feeling like I was being showered in love. It was such an overwhelming feeling to be so deeply loved, so deeply cared for, so deeply accepted, that as I was listening to that song, doing my own thing, la la la, planning for 2025 is 1st of January, wonderful. And then suddenly that song kicks in, and I couldn't. I could not. I could not. Couldn't handle it. And when I say I couldn't handle it, a lot of people are like, "Are you okay?" I was like, I don't think you understand. I don't think you understand what actually happened there. Maybe I wasn't clear enough in the posts that came with that video, but what was happening there was the most beautiful liberation, the most beautiful feeling, the most unconditional love that I was feeling. And really, now that I think about it, maybe it was my mom sending me love from heaven. Who knows? We'll never know. Because you see, some people were reaching out to me saying, "Is everything okay? That release, do you want to talk about it? Do you need a shoulder to cry on?" And I'm like, that was one of the happiest moments of my life. Do I understand that? A lot of the times, people tend to project their own sadness, their own emotions onto what they see, and they basically look at things and interpret things through their own lens, which is completely fine, but I just wanted to make that 1,000,000% clear that it was all coming from a very beautiful place. But you know what? It was so incredibly scary for me to share that video. It was the most vulnerable share I've ever done over the last 5 years of posting online nonstop, pretty much. I was contemplating whether I should do it or not quite a while, but there was this inner guidance that kept on nudging me to do it. Go 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 do it. So I didn't have a choice at the end anymore. Because you see, before that post, normally the way I show up online is, even though I do get emotional in these lives, I do get emotional, but I would never cry like proper tears. I would never allow myself to just break down, show my nostrils in all their glory. I would not allow myself to not look professional. But somehow it needed to happen. Somehow my higher guidance told me that someone needs to watch it, someone needs to see it, someone needs to read it, someone needs to witness it, and somehow is going to benefit the world. I don't quite know how, but somehow it needed to happen. And quite a few people did actually respond to it, either in comments or in private messages. And they were saying, oh my God, this is one of the most beautiful things I've seen in a long time on the internet. This is so authentic. This is so impactful. This is so beautiful. This is such a permission to be humans. This is such a permission to feel the emotion and fully embrace it. This is such a permission. This is so influential. So if you have not yet seen that video, I definitely recommend you go to my LinkedIn profile or on Instagram at ruta.infusion, and you will see the video that I'm talking about where I break down in tears just because the song sings that it's showering me with love, and the heavens are cracking open above, and it's just so beautiful. And today I also wanted to talk about what if being a visionary feels lonely sometimes, and what's the cure if that's the case. And I wanted to talk about this topic because I think a lot of people don't talk about how lonely it can get if you're a visionary, how lonely it can get when people don't understand you and your decisions and your choices, how lonely it can get when maybe even you don't really recognize yourself to some extent. You're like, who am I? I don't really know anymore. How lonely it can get if you move countries or you close a door to certain friendships, how lonely it can get if you really decide to completely change your life. And this is a very common thing for visionaries, because visionaries are those who often are perceived as a little bit crazy because they have these crazy, unconventional ideas of what they want to do in their lives. And well, if you have moved countries, then to some extent you are a visionary because you broke out of the norm. You did something unconventional. You did something that probably most of your classmates or neighbors or family members or friends never did. If that's what you did, then you are a visionary. You see, visionaries are those who are hungry for more. They are eager to do something differently. They want to pave their own path. They're excited to create something extraordinary. They're excited to live their lives fully. They're like, I want to do this thing. And they go and do it. They go and do it. And yet, like I just said, it can be a lonely journey. When I first, now looking back, when I first noticed that it was getting a little bit empty around, is when I was actually still in the corporate. I haven't even started my coaching journey at the time yet. I have hired my first coach, and I was working with her, Barbara. And I remember back then when I just stopped resonating with most of my surroundings, with most of the people that I was hanging out with. And slowly but surely, I started distancing myself from the people in my life. And the reason behind was that I realized they are not really going in the same direction as I am. They don't have the dreams that I do. And we don't all have to agree on what we want, but the resonance was just completely off. And so I thought, well, if I don't want to be influenced by people who live completely different lives than I want to live, then I guess I should just kind of clean up, clean up my closet, clean up my phone, clean up my calendar. And it was a process where bit by bit by bit, I started fading away from people who I used to call friends. And that can be a very challenging process. And I think for some of you who are listening, this could be the exact reason why you're even afraid to step up and to really be yourself fully and to dream bigger and maybe move countries because you're afraid to lose your friends. A lot of people are holding themselves back because they're so attached to those friendships. Because you see, we are attached because we're afraid that we will end up lonely. And that's why I wanted to talk about this topic, because loneliness can become a real thing. But what I can tell you for a fact is that it is a temporary thing. What I can tell you for a fact is that when you clean up your life, when you create space in your world, in your reality, the right people start resonating. The right people start coming. The right people just start popping out of the blue. And you see, I felt inspired to speak about this topic because I'm going through this discomfort right now. Because just 3 months ago, I moved back to Portugal. I left Brazil at the end of July, beginning of August. And I spent 5.5 weeks with my family back in Lithuania. And then I moved to this gorgeous, beautiful place here in Portugal that I absolutely love. It's so freaking awesome. It gives me chills. I can see ocean and cliffs, and I can go hiking and see gorgeous sunsets and sunrises and witness boats. And it's just so freaking awesome. And the people are so lovely and friendly, and their Portuguese people are the best, honestly. They're the sweetest, the kindest, the most welcoming people I have ever come across, truly. But you see, before moving back to Portugal, I knew it was the right move. I knew that that's exactly what I needed to do. And I didn't regret this decision, not even for a second. It didn't even cross my mind. It's the exact right thing that I needed to do in order for me to evolve, in order for me to be in alignment with what's meant for me. It just felt like the right move in my life. Being close to Lisbon, all that great stuff. But what I wasn't prepared for was how lonely it would be to move to a place where I barely know anyone, as beautiful as it is, as lovely as people are, as friendly as they are. The closest people in my life are not here. The closest people in my life are all over the place, literally. I am extremely fortunate that I have met one incredible human being who lives nearby. I have a wonderful friend who lives in Lisbon. However, I don't see her that often, maybe once a month or so. But my absolute closest tribe, like a soul family, you know, the people who you can call in the middle of the freaking night and they will be like, yes, yes, I'm here. You know, those people, you know that they will do anything to be with you, support you. They want you to be happy. They want you to thrive. Those kind of people who are your cheerleaders, who are your support system, who are those the real deal people in your life. Those ones are far away. They're far away. And you see, when I moved here in the beginning, I was in heaven. I was like, oh my God, this is exactly what I wanted, especially because back in Lithuania, it was really intense as I was living with my grandma who has, I believe, dementia. And it was really challenging because I was literally in her presence pretty much 24/7. And well, except the times when I was working, but overall, there was a lot of intensity in being around her and people in general. So when I came here, I was like, oh my God, finally I'm alone. Finally, I can just enjoy myself, my own company, because you see, I have learned to love my company. I don't know about you. Please share in the comments. How are you with being alone and having a good time by yourself? I wasn't comfortable being by myself in the past, but over the last years, I really started loving it. I befriended myself to the degree that I actually have a great time being by myself. So when I came here, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I love it. So the first month or so, it was my honeymoon phase. I absolutely loved it. I was going for my hikes. I was going to the beach. I was doing my own thing, just literally just making the most out of it. And then, bit by bit by bit by bit, I started realizing that actually I miss my people. Actually, I want to be surrounded by amazing human beings. Actually, I would love to be in a relationship. Actually, I would love someone or a group of people to share greatness with. You know, there's this statement that says, happiness is only real when shared. Well, this is exactly what I started realizing. Because you see, there's a lot of scientific evidence that proves that what's the most important thing in life is relationships. When you feel a sense of belonging, when you feel that you can be yourself fully, when you are social, when you're having a good time with other people, when you can share yourself and your life with others, that's what gives meaning to life. There's this, by now it's probably 86 years of research by Harvard University, the longest research ever conducted, where they were interviewing and analyzing individuals throughout all these decades about their levels of happiness. And what they found is that by far, relationships were the dominating factors when it comes to whether or not someone felt that their lives were fulfilling, whether they felt happy, whether they were even healthy. their health dependent on the quality of their relationships. So you see, all of that started hitting me quite freaking hard a couple of months ago in my life, because I started realizing that as beautiful as this is, as much as I love hanging out by myself, as wonderful as it is to live a life as a visionary, it can get lonely sometimes. It can really be tough on you sometimes. And that, to some people, is a huge discouragement, because then they're like, oh, wait a second, I will just pack my stuff and move back. Or I will just stop with this idea and just go back to where I was before, because I'm too afraid to be alone, because loneliness is too big of a discomfort. It's too much to handle. I don't want to end up like this. But you see, there is a cure to that. And the first cure that I found for sure is finding a deeper connection with yourself. Because even if you might enjoy your own company, when you're really spending that much time alone, you have to face deeper layers of yourself, of who you really are, of what really matters to you. And so what I started doing, I started connecting with those parts of me which somewhat felt lonely, felt like, hmm, what about people? What about love? And so I started giving myself that deeper love, that deeper connection, that deeper feeling of like I belong wherever I am. And then what I also noticed is that it was an invitation to become a better version of me. That in fact, it wasn't that I was being lonely as much as it was a preparation for something even more beautiful, for the next chapter in my life. You see, this gap, this void between where I currently am and where I want to be, which means where I am is living in this beautiful place, but I don't have many people to share it with. But I want to surround myself with people I want to share life with. This gap in between is teaching me how to appreciate where I am so much, so that when I'm there, I would never take it for granted. That gap is teaching me how painful it is to not acknowledge what I've created, what I've done, how far I've come. That gap is teaching me to appreciate all the blessings in my life. And because there is absence right now, there is absence between where I am and where I want to be. Me being grateful for this journey, me being grateful for the preparation phase, in fact, makes me feel better, makes me feel more gratitude, more appreciation, which automatically raises my vibration, makes me feel so much more aligned, because then it's no longer about the gap. It's more about becoming the version of me who will never take anything for granted. Because you see, to some extent, even though I was really grateful when I lived in Brazil, surrounded by incredible human beings, I I did not have that level of gratitude. I did not take it as seriously. I was like, yeah, we'll move on fast. I will adapt quickly. That's what I normally praise myself for because I've moved country so often. It's not that difficult. It's not that challenging. I happen to surround myself with incredible people very quickly. And then I realized the real good people, I do miss them after all. The real good people, I don't want to take them for granted ever. And so you see what I started doing as a result of all of this is especially during the Christmas time. I started telling them, those people, that I really, 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 really appreciate them. I started thanking them for their presence in my life. I started sharing with them how much I really cherish them. That maybe I never told them before. Or maybe I did, but it doesn't feel like I did it in the same intensity, with the same depth of that really deep love for these individuals. I called my grandma more often and I kept on telling her, even though she forgets a lot of things, but I kept on telling her how much I love her. And even if she might have even forgotten that we spoke a couple of days ago, I would call her again because it matters to me, because I want to share my happiness with someone and I want them to know how grateful I am. So you see, I'm sharing all of this because I know there are a lot of visionaries out there who, if you found the courage to do it anyway and to go after your dreams, and you happen to experience some loneliness because you feel like people are not understanding, they don't get it, they don't understand why you do what you do, why you live the way you live, why you're making all these decisions. They think that you're just a black sheep. They write you off. That's okay. That really is okay. Because, like I said earlier, it's a temporary phase. And that temporary phase is teaching you to love yourself more, to connect with yourself more deeply, to appreciate what you do have more, to connect with those people who you appreciate so much more, even if they're far away, and to prepare for other people, for the next chapter of your life, because you know that those people are also coming. You know that is going to happen. You're going to meet them. You see, some people say, you haven't even met the most incredible people in your life yet. You haven't even met the ones you will love the most. You haven't even met the people who will have the biggest impact on you. And that might actually be true. I believe, in my case, that that's a fact. It doesn't mean that other friendships or relationships were less important or less impactful. It simply means that there is more to life and that greatness is coming and that your visionary pursuits are going to come with rewards, and those rewards are not just in a shape of tangible material stuff or recognition or even experiences necessarily. It also comes with people, with connections. with interactions, with depth. You see, even I keep on saying you see. I should stop saying you see. Some people send me messages saying, "Oh my God, we've never met in person, but I love you already. Oh my God, you live on the other side of the world, but you're so freaking awesome. Let's be friends. Oh my God, I want you to be my coach. Oh my God, I need you in my life. I want you in my life." That does happen when, as a visionary, you're willing to sacrifice something that you no longer resonate with. So you create space for things that resonate with you as the next version of you. And if you're in that liminal space, in the in between phase, in the temporary transition phase, where you feel like, but where is everybody? Why am I here all alone? What's happening here? Should I go back? Is this a good idea? Am I in the right place? This doesn't feel comfortable. If this is where you are, just keep looking. Open your heart, open your eyes. Start looking for those people. Start looking for them. Start being more initiative. Be curious. Reach out. Be courageous. Say hi. And that's how bit by bit by bit by bit we create a new life, a new reality with new people, with new connections, with new friends. This doesn't mean that your old friends all have to go. It doesn't mean at all. I still have one friend in particular. She's the best. She's my Lithuanian friend from high school. We went to school together for 8 years at least. And she still lives in my hometown in the north of Lithuania, in a small town. She never left. She has a completely different lifestyle. Completely. But you know what? Every single time we hang out, it feels like we saw each other yesterday. It's like we're such besties that it's just, oh. You know those people who you feel like they're for a lifetime? Well, that's one of them. So it doesn't have to be that all of them vanish. It doesn't have to be that this is it, game over, new chapter, new level. At the new level, some old friends also go with you because they love you anyway. They love you and accept you, and they're excited for you and with you. They celebrate you, and you celebrate them. So, my intention for today's conversation is to help you realize that even if you might feel lonely, even if it's freaking uncomfortable, even if you wish it was easier, I'm telling you, it's not going to last forever. This too shall pass, like they say. Life is a constant change. Life constantly moves forward. And as a visionary, your vision, your mission is far more important than all the fears and doubts that might creep in. Those fears and doubts are quite irrelevant because you know what? There's always a cure, there's always a way. There are always people who will stand by you, join you, help you, support you, resonate with you, be there for you. It's a fact. So, what I wanted you to feel into today is, are you allowing yourself to go down the spiral or holding yourself back because it might be feeling a little lonely sometimes? Are you holding yourself back even though you know that you've got to do it? Even though you know that that's exactly what you're meant to be doing? That's the right path. And if you also, if you want to surround yourself with people who cheer on you and guide you and coach you, then I can be one of them. We can work together on your dreams. We can work together on all of these challenges that come up when pursuing your dreams, pursuing your goals, pursuing your vision. All of these nuances of how to expand your capacity to hold all this pain or discomfort and move in the direction of your dreams anyway. This is what I will help you do, to feel comfortable in the discomfort, to feel like you're not alone, to know that there is someone who is cheering you on and guiding you and helping you release all the things that are holding you back so that you move forward with power, with purpose, with intention, authentically, in alignment. So if you need my support or want my support, feel free to reach out. I would love to support you in this journey. That is it for today, day 4. I love you. You're amazing. And you're never alone. You're never lonely. You always have people just a message away. Remember that.